day of practice in Florida after getting the car together after having some issues at the dyno. We popped the engine and actually threw a rod out the side. We had 1 week before we had to leave for FD Atlanta, so it was a pretty wild one at that, just meaning that the cars were new. They weren't even fully assembled at this point. We had to not only complete the cars, we also had to rip the engine out that we just put in and replace it with our spare. The new motor was the similar setup as the last one that had blown up. The only piece that we had changed was the actual rods themselves. We just pretty much found the limit of the rods, so we got the newer, stronger rods from Brian Crower and got them in the car. We got in a little bit late, got the cars unloaded, got them all ready, went through tech. Luckily, the guys at FD are really nice and kind of pushed back our appointments for the tech inspection for the cars, so got the cars all situated for that and passed through, so we were ready for the event. Going out on track was a little nerve-wracking for me. It's a new track, it's a fast track that I haven't driven ever, so I was kind of nervous on that. I got about 5 laps of practice in before qualifying and was just kind of frustrating myself because I was having issues with myself and just kind of getting the track figured out. But after my 5th lap, I wasn't able to fully link the track. I was just really feeling the pressure at that point and knew I had to pull some strings out in order to get a qualifying score down. Coming into qualifying, we had actually made little adjustments to the car on the nitrous activation points and added it to come on a bit sooner on throttle percentage so I can kind of, not so much as baby the car a little bit, but the nitrous would come on sooner so that I didn't have to full throttle, just drop the clutch at any time I need to get the tires to spin. First qualifying run I felt really good on. I got the entry down as best I could have, really. And came through, got to the top of the hill. It was a little shallow on the rear clipping zone at the very top of the hill. I got through the front clip, and at that point there, I had a little issues that I can't really explain. I wasn't able to get the car up into boost, and I had to pretty much straighten up coming back down the hill after the transition from the front clip. It was too long of a straight, so it was considered a 0. I enjoy driving fast on a lot of tracks. I like the faster tracks, but I only have very much experience with it. I enjoy the challenge of learning the faster tracks, but it takes me a little bit longer to adapt than it would as far as like a smaller oval track that I'm not used to. My second pass for qualifying, I was able to get the track connected. Had not the greatest of lines, not the best of entries, but it was a run indeed. And it did give me a score of a 64, I believe it was, and got me into a 10th place qualifier for the main show. Coming into Friday, we had 1 hour practice before our main competition. I got about another 5 laps in, and luckily I had a good night's sleep and was able to come in with a clear mind and run through practice, and had 5 pretty consecutive solid laps in practice. And then we were going into our main competition for top 16 against Doug Vandenbrink. Going into competition with Doug, he'd been having some troubles in practice that we'd seen and noted down from my spotter, Rich. We had some notes and some ammunition on our end to kind of be ready for. In our run, I gave him the space that was we thought needed, and just throttled up through the first rear zone as best I could to try and keep up with him and get back up to his door, because he pulled a little bit of a gap on me. So I kind of committed into the top of the turn, thinking that he would have had everything together. Unfortunately, I came a little closer than I wanted, and we made initial contact just coming into the second rear zone. After the contact, being on the right-hand side of the car, it's a little harder to see some of the cars on the left when I'm following close. And I heard him try and initiate again in third, and I guess from our contact it knocked his car out of gear, so when he tried to continue the drift and continue the run, it just kind of revved up real high, and me hearing that note figured, you know, we're going to go again, so I had my car in third, revved it up and dropped it to continue the run, and smacked him again on the back just mainly on his back bumper on my rear wheel. So after the contact happened, I shut it down, he had shut it down, I limped the car back to the top of the hill. In the judges' eyes, they deemed it, you know, a 0 run for Doug and a double fault on the contacts. So we were both allotted nearly as much time as we needed to get the cars together. However, we were the second to last run in the top 16, so we had pretty much until the top 16 battles were done to get the cars back together. Unfortunately, we sustained a bunch of damage, and with the allotted time, we just weren't able to get the car back together before our run was due, and I had to unfortunately forfeit the rest of the race. I just want to shoot a big thank you to everyone that's been out here this week in Enjuku Racing, Fortunato, all my crew guys, Bub, Ant. I had Rich up in the spotter stand, even Nate helped me out for the events. Josh McGuire and his team were up there in the hot pits helping us out. And we're heading back down to Enjuku Racing now to get the cars back together in tip-top shape. We got an event in 2 weeks at Hyperfest in West Virginia, and we're going to go check that out here and get some tuning in on the cars. I can't thank everyone enough for putting in the effort and trying to get me back out there, and we'll give them hell in the next round.